Once upon a time, there was a couple named Peter and Kate who were very poor. They barely had enough bread to eat and lived in a rundown hut by a river with a small patch of land and an old apple tree behind it. One night, while Peter was sleeping, he had a dream. In the dream, a tall old man dressed in gray with a long gray beard appeared to him and said,
"Peter, I know you've had a tough life without complaining. I want to help you. Follow the river until you reach a bridge on the other side of town. Stand there patiently, and eventually someone will come to you and give you information that will make you rich."
The next morning, Peter shared his dream with Kate.
"It would be interesting if I followed the old man's advice and became rich,"
he said. Kate dismissed his dream, saying,
"Dreams are nonsense. Go see if our neighbor Goodkin has any wood that needs to be cut so we can earn some money to buy food for tomorrow."
Peter did as his wife suggested and went to his neighbor's house to work. He worked there all day, and by evening he had forgotten about his dream. But that night, while he was asleep, the old man appeared to him again.
"Peter, why haven't you followed my instructions?"
asked the old man.
"Remember, good luck won't wait forever. Tomorrow go to the bridge and town I told you about. If you wait there for 3 days and listen to what you're told, you'll become a rich man."
The next morning, Peter was eager to search for the bridge and town the old man had mentioned, but his wife dissuaded him again.
"Don't be foolish,"
she said.
"Sit down and eat your breakfast and be grateful that you have it. You made some money yesterday, and who knows, you might make even more today."
So Peter did not go on his journey to seek his fortune that day either. The old man appeared to Peter for the third time the following night. This time, the old man's expression was serious and disapproving.
"You foolish man,"
he exclaimed.
"I have come to you 3 times already, and I will not come again. Go to the bridge that I spoke of and listen carefully to what you're told. Otherwise, you'll continue to live in poverty, just as you have been."
The old man disappeared, and Peter woke up. His wife's scolding and arguing were no longer of any use. Peter would do as the old man had instructed. He ate some food and packed more in his pockets before setting off. Peter walked down the river for a long time until he became tired and sore. Then he reached a bridge that crossed the stream, and on the other side was a town. Peter was almost sure that this was the place the old man in his dream had told him about. He stood on the bridge all day while people walked past him, stared at him, and some of them even spoke to him. However, no one said anything that could lead him to fortune. He waited on the bridge for the entire first and second day, and by the time the third day arrived, he had eaten all the food he had brought, except for one hard crust of bread. At that point, he started to question if he was being foolish by waiting there day after day because of a dream, while he could be earning a few pennies at home. Just past the bridge, there was a tailor's store, and the tailor who lived there was a very curious man. He had been peeking at Peter ever since he stood on the bridge, wondering why he was standing there and what his business might be. The longer Peter stayed, the more curious the tailor became. He fussed and fidgeted, and by the afternoon of the third day, he couldn't stand it anymore. He put aside his work and went out to the bridge to find out what he could about Peter and what he was doing there. When he reached Peter, he greeted him with a good day.
Good day,
Peter replied.
Are you waiting here on the bridge for someone?
Asked the tailor.
I am and I am not,
Replied Peter.
What does that mean?
Asked the tailor.
How can you be waiting and not waiting at the same time?
I am waiting for someone, that's true,
Said Peter.
but I don't know who he is, or where he'll come from, or if anyone will come at all.
He then told the tailor about his dream and how he had been told that if he waited on the bridge for 3 days, someone would come and tell him something that would make him rich for life.
What a silly fellow you are,
Said the tailor.
I, too, have dreamed dreams, but I'm not foolish enough to pay attention to them. Just last week, I dreamed 3 times that an old man came to me and told me to follow along the riverbank until I reached a hut where a man and his wife lived. The man's name was Peter, and his wife's name was Kate. I was to go and dig among the roots of an apple tree behind their house, and there, buried among the roots, I would find a chest of golden money. That's what I dreamed. But did I go wandering off in search of such a place? No, indeed, I'm not such a simpleton. I stick to my work, and I manage to keep a warm roof over my head, have plenty of food to eat, and when I'm dressed in my best, none of the neighbors look half as good as I do. No, no, no. Go back to where you belong and get to work, my man, and maybe you can earn something better than those miserable rags you're wearing now.
The tailor returned to his sewing after giving Peter some advice. But Peter was confused by what the tailor had told him about a man named Peter and his wife Kate living near an apple tree that contained a chest of golden money buried beneath its roots. He realized that he might have been missing out on a fortune all along. Peter hurried home, feeling more and more anxious as he got closer. When he saw his house, he was out of breath and didn't even go inside. Instead, he called to his wife to bring him a pick and shovel and ran straight to the apple tree behind his house. His wife didn't know what was going on, but she gave him the tools anyway. Peter started digging around the roots of the tree, and before long, he hit something hard with his pick. He used a spade to uncover a large chest made of oak wood and iron. The chest was so heavy that he couldn't lift it alone, so his wife helped him. Though it was locked, he managed to break it open and found it was full of golden money, enough to make him and his wife rich for the rest of their lives. They were overjoyed at their good fortune. After bringing the chest into their house, Peter and his wife locked the door and began counting the money. There was so much of it that they spent the whole evening and part of the night counting. That's how Peter's good luck came, all from a dream. Now they built a big house, and they had fancy food, carriages, horses, nice clothes. They held feasts for their neighbors, and whenever a poor person came to their door, they would give them plenty of food to eat and a piece of silver to keep. One day, Peter and his wife dressed up in their finest clothes and got into one of their carriages. Peter told the driver to take them to the town where he had stood on the bridge and heard the tailor talk about his dream of the chest of money buried under the apple tree. Peter instructed the coachman to stop in front of the tailor's shop. When the tailor saw the fancy coach and the well-dressed passengers, he assumed they were wealthy aristocrats, possibly there to purchase clothing from him. The tailor came outside, bowing and grinning. Peter asked him,
"Do you remember me?"
The tailor replied,
"No, Your Highness.
still smiling and bowing.
I don't have that honor, Your Highness."
After Peter reminded him of their encounter on the bridge, he explained how he had become a wealthy man thanks to the tailor's dream. If it hadn't been for the dream, Peter would never have known about the gold buried under the apple tree. When the tailor heard this, he was very upset because he could have found the gold himself and kept some of it if he had believed in his dream. Despite this, Peter gave him 100 gold pieces to console him and ordered a nice suit from him. Peter also promised to buy all his clothes from the tailor and pay him a good price for them in the future. So in the end, the tailor also benefited from all the dreaming.